topic. So you see, as a human being that you are there, no. You see the English I'm using. As a human being that you are there, no. You want to brand yourself in a certain way to attract something, even the opposite sex sometimes. So when you go outside, you want to dress well, look good, the perfume you're using, the makeup, the lashes, the foundations, the girls will take you through, the hairstyles. Yesterday I spent about 3 hours with my barber having a conversation. I didn't say trying to groom, giving me tricks to stay fresco, as Jay-Z would say. There are things, men will go to barbering shop, spend time, shaving their beard, all because you want to brand yourself in a certain way to attract something. Sometimes even you want to feel a part of society so society can accept you. You want to attract people to you. People who are looking for marriage or partners, will do things to make them attractive again. However, in the same vein, we try to do things to position ourselves, our brand, our persona, so corporate bodies can be attracted to us. But there are strategies to go around this. There are ways to go around this. So this morning, we're talking about building a brand that attracts corporate ambassadors, all right? The insights and the strategies. Now, we are honored to have a very good friend of ours join us in the studio this morning. His name is Kofi Akrofi. He's a guest with us this morning. Now, Kofi has got a wild background when it comes to branding and how do I say? I always like to break it down and make it, that sometimes the English is a big plenty, so I want to let people to be able to relate easily to some of these things. But when you talk about advertising, the media space, especially with regards to branding, Kofi plays a huge role in there. For Kofi, he's been part of a lot of things, a lot of campaigns. He's worked with brands such as Vodafone, Olam, Nestle, UNICEF, you name them. It's countless. He's been part of campaigns like the Guinness Made of More. You remember Guinness Made of More and Vodafone Icons as well. So you see, the guy has just got a background, Charlie, and this morning he's a guest on the show with us because we want to talk about how to position ourselves, you're going to square go as a goalkeeper, you want to stand as on corner be so you can just catch the ball nicely. Which keeper is the one that has written the areas, the places to catch the ball with each player and all? I don't know. Does this goalkeeper? Oh, during the World Cup.
Me, I don't know.
Does this goalkeeper?
Sports Direct.
Fans,
Sports Direct. We do life and style of
oh,
the sport.
serious? You probably the kind of thing. So keeper, he had mapped out every player and where they.
Martinez. Yeah, Martinez. Yeah.
I was disappointed in my boys when they
the way you said it first, it sounded like you do.
Anyway, talking soccer. Before we even come talking soccer, there's this video I saw online that says that when women are running, their whatever is scattered. Their breasts are scattered. However, with men, they say Manchester United.
That's just too funny.
Hey,
Manchester United. Oh, that's dope. Anyway.
Just too funny.
Kofi can't take it. He can't take the joke. he can't. It's too much for him.
Just too funny.
I am apologizing again. We are not always like this.
We're not always like this. So it's cool. It's cool. Kofi, good morning and welcome to the show.
Good morning, Jay.
I mean, yes, I'm looking forward to this conversation because most of us want to really look back in our lives and see probably where we went wrong or what we could have done better or what opportunities are available to us still, to be able to position ourselves and keep building a certain brand that we are holding to attract more corporate bodies. I've been fortunate, yes, I've been brand ambassador before for some brands, but I want more. And I'm trying to position myself. So maybe with this conversation, you can help us out. Lenny's been looking forward to brand herself as a prolific, strong master of ceremony.
Thank you.
So she's working hard in that space. Olele's brand, when it comes to his conversations and his critiques and opinions on subject matters with regards to entertainment, I mean, he's in there. Yeah. What could he do more? Serial is carrying a top-notch information on the most beautiful woman in the world.
I'm a womanist.
Yo, I never saw that coming.
He said I'm a womanist.
We all have
my branding goal is to have money.
I never saw that coming.
No, it's a specialist in women.
I never saw that coming.
That serial is crazy, man. He said a specialist in
women.
I'm going to use that.
I'm done. In fact, so let's roll back to the beginning. What in itself is a brand? I don't know if I've given you the right expression to this, or what is a brand?
Right. Okay. So anything that someone can interact with, right?
Break it down.
Anything that an audience can interact with. anything that they can feel towards, anything that they can touch, anything that they can see, anything that they can hear, anything that they can talk about.
Okay.
All of these things go into making up your brand. So essentially, your brand is a representation of what you stand for, the makeup of the basic building blocks that makes you who you are in the minds and hearts of the people. Those are two keywords, minds and hearts of the audience. The mistake we usually make is people just go past brand building and go to selling.
Oh.
That's a very common mistake. People just go past brand building and say, oh, I want to sell. Oh, I want to secure a deal. Oh,
Okay, I'm told I will need you to amplify a bit. Amplify your brand voice a bit so they can hear you. I don't know if... Yeah, okay, all right.
So,
perfect.
Typically, the very first thing that you need to do is to build your brand. And it comes down to what do you stand for? What are your values? Who are you? I'll give you a simple example. If we're in this room, we know each other. We're all here. If someone should walk in right now, random person, we don't know him, we've not seen you before, and the person says, oh, I have the best mobile phone in the market, buy it. We're all going to turn and look at him like, who are you? Exactly, who are you? Like, why should we believe you? What are you? But if the person walks in, says, hi, hello, my name is Kofi. I come from so and so place, and maybe someone here also comes from there, or maybe someone knows that. Oh, right, okay. Oh, I know that town, or I know that place. Oh, right, okay, great. I've been selling mobile phones for a very long time, and I know what works for you. What do you need on your mobile phone? Oh, I need to be able to tweet. I need to be able to make calls and da. Oh, right. Okay. So I have the best mobile phone for you. Even if your child throws it, it won't bounce and da. So now it begins to get into the conversations, right? And then it goes into, oh, I have a shop in Accra. Or I know someone who has a shop in Accra. Or I can give you a good deal. So then you have a point of sale or a point of reference. And then it comes down to, oh, would you want to buy one for yourself? Yes, absolutely. I would like to buy one because you struck a conversation with me. You've given me something to interact with. And now I also remember you because you introduced yourself and so on and so forth. We go straight past all of this and then we say, I want to sell. Let me sell. Give me a deal. Give me money and so on. You can't take money from someone without introducing yourself to the person. That's just the way it is.
That is a very lovely breakdown. I was actually going to ask the importance of branding. Because it's like you said, a lot of us jump from the, you said from the this thing to the this thing, from the please remind me again. From you mentioned you used a particular phrase. We jump straight to selling.
We jump straight to selling. We jump away from we just get right into it. Just go from brand building. We go past brand building and go straight to selling. That's the common mistake that we make.
Because I can relate to this, and just when you said it, I just realized that a friend of mine that I'm actually helped to build a brand, I'm making a mistake because I'm jumping straight to selling without having people to know that this is what the person does. Yes, Cyril.
I'm sorry, I'm derailing us.
Okay.
But I think it's very good that I derail us.
Why?
You heard the funny story Jay just gave us, Manchester United. I just opened Instagram. See the first thing that's there.
Brad test. Under what? Sorry.
What is that?
Remember you said a story.
Yeah, the Manchester United.
When women are running.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I just
phone is listening to you.
Look at
Yeah, but you know that thing happens a lot.
Okay,
right?
so basically because we said it,
Your
Because
phone
you
is
said
listening
it,
to
the
you.
phone was here when you said
has
it.
heard us talking about.
No, but it does happen
So the
a
first
lot.
video there is a lady running, testing different bras.
Wow, Cyril.
I'm scared.
Cyril.
Me, you
No,
said
you
the
said
story.
you are a woman Abaze.
Specialist.
Womanist.
Womanist.
Now, the story is,
I cannot believe that we've asked for Kofi's time. Cyril has cut the conversation.
If you and I are friends, leave us alone.
Interesting.
So I was scared. I'm like,
What is happening?
No, but it happens.
are
Like you're
listening to
talking
us.
about a shoe when you go on Instagram or Facebook, the first
But
thing you
let-
see is a shoe
dovetails into the
ad.
conversation.
You're
What
saying-
worries
Should I
me
have
is
to
that
as well?
Cyril's phone didn't pick up all the things Kofi said about branding to
haven't
open
scrolled yet.
anything about
I haven't scrolled
When
yet.
he
Your
scrolls down,
phone
you
I
has
kept
Says he
it
hasn't
there.
scrolled
gone
yet.
into something.
I haven't scrolled yet.
Anyway,
My question would be, now that we're aggressively marketing like this, the introduction, is it still that critical?
Absolutely, 100%. You need to introduce yourself. You need to stand for something. You know, here's a fact of marketing. Then there are several facts. I try to teach, especially my people, a lot. Brands that only try to sell won't sell. That's facts. Brands that only try to sell won't sell. You make some sales, but will people believe you enough to come back and come and buy? Again, let me go into another example. When you go to Circle, one of the ambient sounds that you hear is memory card, pen drive, promotion.
Yeah.
Memory card, pen drive, promotion. Mind you, it was a promotion. But now it's become an ambient sound because the only thing that they are trying to do is to sell. They are not saying things to you like, oh, preserve the memories of your young ones, play music in your car, or do something meaningful, something that attaches
Tangible with the product.
Exactly. They are saying memory card, pen drive promotion. They're only selling to you. So brands that try to sell won't sell, which is why the introduction and the conversation, those two things are very, very important. If you introduce yourself well and you hold a good conversation, that termination point, which is the sale, you trying to make the sale of a product or sale of a service, that comes naturally without you even having to do much.
I like what you said. I'll definitely translate all this into music, and because in a team of for an artist team, a person like you is very key to the success of the artist. So we'll dovetail into how artists can be able to set up good brands for themselves and market themselves beyond their music, because it's a very important thing for us to look at. And I think most musicians are always constantly looking at putting the product out there, but there is more to the craft in this day and age, as we've always been talking about, than just a song you put out there as an artist. If you just joined us real quickly, we are talking to Kofi, Akrofi as well. He's let me just say a brand specialist, as Cyril would say, a woman specialist. So that's on the side. But real quickly, Hollywood, Bollywood, Nollywood, and quality Ghanaian movies come alive on the big screens at Silverbird Cinemas. Get the very best entertainment you deserve. Create and share amazing memories with the ones you truly love with the movie treat at Silverbird Cinemas, West Hills Mall, and Accra Mall. Showing in cinemas now are John Wick Part 4 or the 4th installment. Wow, I need to watch that. Super Mario Brothers movie. Ooh, who's going to be my date? Creed Part 3. Wow. Air, A Taste of Sin. Renfield and the Pope's Exorcist. Whew. Just visit silverbirdcinema.com/West Hills or /Accra for showing times, or call 0544 310140 or 059997 for more details. I need a date and we can go together. Now back into the studio. Let's get into our conversation going. You have shared with us parts importance, but let's really understand why it is essential for someone to have a brand in the first place, whether he or she is selling or not. What is it supposed to do for me as a human being?
Okay. As human beings, it is part of our nature, psychologically, to want to connect.
Great.
We want to connect.
Great.
We're social animals. We really want to connect. Which brings us down to what we stand for, which essentially is part of our brand. What do I stand for? Let's use the serial example. He's a womanist, a specialist in women. What if I'm another version of a womanist, which is a womanizer? You understand? So
That's Jay.
So Jay is another version.
Yo, bro, can we stay focused, bro?
No, the womanist protects the women. The
And the
womanizer.
womanizer-
Exploits.
Let me listen. I want Kofi to hit it clearly. So.
Sure, no problem. So
You see what he carry come?
Jay, the
know, right?
womanizer, also has similar interests to you.
Yeah.
So now, what is that common point? In math, you say like a Venn diagram, that point of intersection is the woman.
Yeah.
Right? So essentially, you both share a love of women.
Okay.
So that comes down to another thing that is important in branding, which is called the shared values.
Okay.
Now, the shared values is a point of connection that, okay, me and that's the brand. How do I connect to the brand? For instance, I'm a street hustler. I don't have time. Every day, I the roll, I the move, I the run. So I don't even have time to sit and eat. So I need something on the go that will cool my heart, that will make me, like move quickly. So anytime I hear something like poppy, I know that, there's food in there that is a quick pick me up, that is a fan milk that I can pick and
Crazy.
I can do that. So that's it. That's you saying that, the vendor on the street and me hustling, we both share that value of hustle and on the go and on the move. So now
You're making me see the whole ice cream branding different.
There you go. So now you need to be able to establish yourself as, okay, here's what I believe in. These are my values, which is why a very important step in the brand building process is to establish your values. What do I believe in? Or what does my brand believe in? My brand is simple. My brand believes in women. My brand believes in protecting women. My brand believes in beautiful women. My brand believes in making sure we close taking advantage. Oh no. My brand believes in making sure we close the orgasm gap, for instance. Where do we go from there? So
Classroom
shared values.
Yeah.
Something to connect to. So now we have our shared values. It's easier for someone, your audience, to say, oh, that brand is me. Have you ever seen a car and gone like, that car is me? Have you ever seen a bag and gone like, that bag is me? Or seen clothes and gone like,
sneakers.
I mean that.
Yes.
Have you ever seen a clothing brand and gone like, these guys understand me. These guys know what it is. That's because we are putting forth the value of the brand, which we know that you can connect to, because it's a tangible point of connection. It's a tether point for you as well. So shared values are a very, very important thing in the steps to brand building.
What are some of these shared values? What are some of these values that brands talk at their tables, at their sittings, when they want to connect with their audience or their fans or their consumers?
So Jay, this thing that you said, I've actually gone so far as promising myself that I'm never going to speak on some of these matters ever again, especially when it comes to just getting some creatives to understand the business of it.
Yes.
The brand is looking for a partner.
Okay, Kofi, hold on right there before you continue. So this answer is supposed to help us understand why there partly might be there is a current disconnect between corporate Ghana and creatives.
Yes.
So let's help this at the back of our minds. Okay, please go ahead.
Corporate Ghana is looking for quite a number of things. 1, a partner.
Okay.
2, an amplifier, right? And 3, a mascot.
Wow. Okay.
A partner being, I'm selling this thing. I know I'm new, but I know that you are growing, and I want to be able to, hand in hand, grow with you, so that if you sell, I also sell. If you sell, I also sell. That's a partner. Like, let's go. An amplifier. Oh, I know you are big. I know you have the audience. I want you to tell the audience to come and buy this thing or come and patronize this thing that I'm dealing in. A mascot. Oh, we stand for the same thing. And I want you to represent my brand so that when people see you, they see my brand. The point is, at the end of the day, the brand is just looking for avenues, opportunities, routes, paths to be able to get to the end user, the audience. So you, the person that they will come to, need to be able to show, exhibit, prove that you actually have the people that they want. That is the very simple thing. I have the people. Number 1. Number 2, you also need to be able to prove that you are worth that investment that they are going to make in you, and you are not going to cause problems for them. Cause problems for them being that maybe you go and say something right now, the thing that you said is going to be a blemish on the brand, and they don't know how to be able to solve it, and they have to drop you and so on and so forth. And then you should be able to this is sort of a uniquely Ghanaian or West African thing, because I digress a little. Over here, unfortunately, creatives are very limited in the kind of things that we are able to represent as creatives. You know, the FDA clamps down on representing alcohol, which could have been a very big and lucrative industry for creatives.
Creatives, yeah.
And then also the Gaming Commission frowns on
using celebrities to advertise,
advertise betting and gaming and so on and so forth. So these are two huge multi-million-dollar potential deals that have been taken off the table. So now what is left? The family brands, the more like the family-friendly brands, the consumables, and to some extent, reproductive health. Right?
Yeah.
So you as a creative, for instance, you sit down and say, which one best fits my brand? And how is it that I'm going to be able to access it? Say, what's the one that I can be able to? So now, how do I demonstrate that? Oh, I have the streets, or I have the people, or I'm in the boardrooms, and so on. Now, you demonstrating it is you saying, oh, this is my audience. These are the numbers. This is how it is that I'm able to show them, and this is how, underline this word, organic. This is how organic it is, because as soon as you try to force it, we see it. It's so easy to tell. This is how organic it is. And it's a real connection because of our shared values. The people that keep trying to force it will not be taken seriously or will not be able to get into those conversations. What the brands are looking for is just a simple way to get to their audience to be able to sell. So you, the creative, show that the path comes through my house, or the path comes through me, or I can direct you there. That is the very simple one, without even mentioning names or going into stories.
I was just about to go into mention names and go into stories. So let me do it in a very nice way. I want to also now draw the line between the battle lines between the creative and the corporate body. The creative has amassed numbers based on a certain brand he or she has put out, has worked on, be it use of cuss words, filthy language, uncensored content, and all that. They have managed to use that to create or gather a huge audience. For whatever purpose or reasons why people are following. Let me go and check Hajia Bintu's page, for example, on TikTok. Let me just find how many people she has on TikTok.
Mention the name.
Now, I just want to use her brand as
that's why I'm a woman. As
an example. So let me just go on her TikTok and find out roughly. Oh, no, I'm not speaking ill on her. No, she's sorry. Pardon me for the noise. I'm actually using her as an example. And with a case study, yes. Thank you very much, Lenny.
St. Rose's.
Yes, St. Rose's. I mean, that's a very good school.
Sparrows.
Yeah.
Sparrows.
She's got 2 million followers on TikTok. That's such a very high number of persons, large number of audience that she has influenced or she influences. Hence the reason why people are following for whatever she does. Then a brand wants to engage her. They need the numbers, and now the brand starts to dictate what space, perimeter, barrier, borders she's supposed to work within. That conflict sometimes then brings about, the disconnects between the brand. But I want to ask and understand why corporates would sometimes, create this, try to water down a space in which, in their interest, knowing very well that can also affect the creative or the influencer.
It's very interesting you use Hajia for this.
Yeah.
For this example.
Because definitely, if I'll say it bluntly, a lot of people are following her because they admire her figure. I don't think she says something or because she's mostly miming stuff. They admire her figure. She's a pretty girl and all that. So maybe a big multinational that deals in hair products want to engage her because she's got the numbers. However, then they come with you can't do this and don't do that, but she's been doing certain things already that's given her 2 million followers. How does the creative work, with the corporate body without losing your audience? And I don't know.
Siri, you're going to say something?
The reason why I'm coming from that angle of the influencer, because if I come from the corporate body, it's easy to understand that we don't want to mess our brand. And what about the influencer also not messing their brand, or what the tone they've set?
Such influencers don't have a specific clear-cut brand.
There you go.
People like Ayeh Bintu have a spectacle audience. People who are there for curiosity, people who are there for intrigue, people who are here for the obvious sexual allure.
And I have a question to what
so
you're
it's
saying.
a mixed bag.
Great.
It's like, you see why people go to the circus?
Kofi, isn't that a brand?
No.
What's the
a brand is like a language.
So no.
A brand has to be like
So
a language.
explain it for me very well to understand. Let me really understand this spectacle, because I want to understand, because your first explanation to what a brand is, you made me understand an interaction between us.
Let me give you a scenario.
The words you used.
Let me
Yes.
give you a scenario. When they say the circus is in town, it fills up. There's acrobats, there's the lion tamer, there's everybody, and it's a circus, and it's a spectacle. So you have a mixed bag of people filling up the circus. When people are doing only acrobatics, the audience is poor, because now you've honed into a very specific target, and you realize not that many people love acrobatics. Ayeh Bintu and other brands that are built on such a mass appeal, just keep the windows open, everybody can come in. It's a spectacle audience. There are people sitting there for various reasons. 1 million of those followers are following for a completely different reason from the other million. And neither one of the two of them are being actively influenced by her. She's the platform they are experiencing.
Yeah,
Do you get the
that
difference?
Isn't that the gray area of why
No, that's the
people
confusion.
No,
We are confusing audience. We are confusing large digital audience for large digital influence. Let me say it again. We confuse large digital audience for large digital.
Let me just say it, because I know this video might get to her. Nobody's speaking ill against it. No, I'm just using her because I admire a brand she holds, and the influence, the power of her brand. When she recently did the what you call it, the influencer
The catch a
thing,
man. The catch a man.
what they call it, catch a man.
Let's just
Yes.
No. Please.
If
stop
she
that.
didn't have influence on her following, definitely nobody would have spoken. So Ayeh holds a certain brand.
Absolutely.
She
That,
also influenced
yes,
the
that can
business
influence
brand.
people's thinking and decisions, be it positive or negative. So I come back to ask about spectacle and brand, because this is her brand. Her brand, whatever it is, I don't know what the brand is, but her brand definitely has given a reason for 2 million people to go and follow her. We can move away from Ayeh and go for other people.
I just want to add to his question that still on the digital conversation, what we've recently heard is influencers.
That's the word.
So in Ayeh's case, or maybe in the grand scheme of things, what's the difference between a brand ambassador and a brand influencer?
Good question.
And I think that's what Jay is trying
And the
to...
content creator at that.
Yes.
Content creator.
Yeah, team.
And a beautiful woman.
First of all, I just need to say, I have worked with Ayeh in the past.
Okay.
Lovely lady Naomi. She's a joy to work with.
Hope you see how serious watching you.
However, I absolutely understand what it is that you're saying, right? I think a lot of times creatives and artists are sort of guided or led by their management, which essentially it's important for the management to set what their values are and important for them to set what their direction is.
Okay.
Going back to what Cyril said, the brand is a language. A language is dynamic. It's a continuous conversation, right? And so what it is not one thing and it's just there. Like, for instance, this is me, this is Ayeh, I have 2 million followers and this is what I represent. No. It is what are the values that you represent and how do those values keep translating into the things you say, the things you create, the things you put out, and the things you also receive.
Okay.
So on her end, right, on an influential person's end, how then do you continue a conversation? How then do you continue reinventing yourself? such that it makes sense for the brand to rather listen to you than to dictate to you.
Okay.
Like, what is it that I'm doing that is right? Morally, whatever, tangentially, all of that. What am I doing that is right? That would put me in the conversation such that the brand would now rather want to listen to me than to dictate to me. As soon as you get into the conversation where it is the brand that is dictating to you, you're the weaker one. Your brand is weak. What you stand for is weak. The only thing they need you for is that middle ground, which is amplification.
Amplification.
That means that your brand is weak, because they're not trying to partner with you and they're not trying to hold you up as a mascot. They're only just trying to get you to speak and get to the people so that they can make a purchase. So in a lot of cases, that is what it is. But yeah,
So that you don't lose me on that. So does that mean that if I go to a brand because I need them, it makes me weak?
if you go to a brand because you need them, yeah.
Shouldn't go to a brand.
I want to
because you
understand
need
this.
Yes.
What I've learned so far is you need to build a brand in such a way that the corporate bodies will come for you. When they come for you, have like more of a bargaining power. But as a brand,
don't see it as come for you, go to them. Your brand needs to be valuable and efficient enough at whatever it is your value system is propagating to the world, that the corporate person can see a viable partnership between the two of you, either for the purpose of being a mascot, an amplifier, or an influencer of their products or service. So you have to be good enough and efficient enough at whatever you do.
Yeah, but in
that
cases,
brand A will say, to achieve our goals and whatever values we have put across, we need a J Foley or we need an Olele. But this desire of, because I've got followers and they've given me a logo, so I have a brand. Let me do proposal and share for companies. They have to use me for something. That is what is causing the chaff build-up at corporate. And we are creating the notion that corporate is not helping creatives. But a lot of creatives are trying to sell raw materials to corporate.
No, but what if the corporate body or the corporate institutions have not really seen it, and you know what you have, you know what you carry?
If what
When
you have
walk
and what
into
you
the
carry
room-
is really doing the job it's supposed to do,
See it.
they would have known. They would be first to know.
Absolutely.
So what? There's never a time where a J Folio or Lenny can walk into the office and say, "Look, I've done this on my own for time." I'm trying to say this because of the artists, right? Like they are doing good music, they're taking care of themselves or whatever, and they need some help, right?
See,
So they have
Jeffoli
to
has been
walk
in
into-
front of camera since Dan Nkrumah's speech.
Wow.
And
Charlie,
Why did you move to Ireland?
I'm from Muftuan. This guy, they don't be here, brother. You just come. You don't be here. These are the terrorizing me for in the house. I forget them today. Right? And J. Foley's appearance has been something he hasn't compromised on.
right?
There's not a men's grooming, men's branding, men's clothing, whatever, blah, blah. That doesn't know J. Foley and what J. Foley represents visually.
They don't want to do business with me.
Do you understand?
Stop doing
And
business.
if J. Foley now has to go, and so I've been on air X amount, I've been on TV morning, afternoon, evening, look at how I dress, look at my hair, please, and explain all that to the brand. It's like, it's devaluing. The more you try and pitch what your value is to a corporate brand, the less important it seems. When you walk into the door and they say, Olele Salvador, if the reception isn't, then your brand is not as potent as you and your management
So
have
are you
hyped
saying
yourself to
It's
be.
a bad idea, or it's not encouraging enough to.
It's the
pitch?
equivalent of saying you are an Afrobeat superstar and you walk in here and nobody knows. And then you now have to take out your phone and go on your Spotify and play us the song. Bro.
I see.
And now open your PDF to show your APK. So this photo shoot, it was this guy who, bro, could be the best photo shoot in the world. But if it was the best photo shoot in the world, we would have had it on our screens before you landed at Kotoka. So you approaching the people should be, at best, a beacon. BBP, we to we day, to get on their radar. Let them do their own mining. Let them do their own investigation. Then the value is being created in their minds about you. You don't have to say anything.
So
You get
basically, it's not wrong, but best.
It's not wrong, but we badger corporates.
Okay.
We take a club and we go and beat corporates that sign me.
Okay,
Boom.
Cyril. So that I know I always like to let people understand this from the basic level, so we can relate because this conversation on branding, a lot of people are very interested in creating brands. That's why we go on Instagram and position ourselves in certain ways and take pictures. Which till today, I don't understand why girls always raise their left foot when they're taking pictures and turn their back. I don't know what kind of brand that one would be.
Same, actually.
Yeah, we were trying to figure that one there since Adam's time. So I'm coming back to using Hajia as a case study in this conversation. And like you said, you worked with her before. What opportunities are available to an influencer of such sort? What kind of brand, if she's a spectacle, how can we translate this spectacle into a brand, and what can she stand for? Because I'm scrolling through her page now as we speak. I don't have stats on her back end, but on TikTok, I realize that if I scroll,
Sorry, did you say
I have
back end?
more. Pardon me.
Back end.
I don't have access to her back end, but I'm checking her following. But
You're
if
not getting it. You're saying it
You
again.
didn't get it, Jay.
I didn't hear.
Back
Sorry.
end.
Flow.
You said it 3 times. But I have
He didn't get it.
you are such a you mess up.
Oh Lord. HR brought me here to work.
And you're trying to kill yourself. You're self-sabotaging.
I don't have access to her back end.
You said something I want to point out to you, man. You said everybody wants to be a brand, right? That's where the problem starts. A lot of people just want to be relevant. A lot of people just want to be influential.
I just want to be famous.
Yes, and a lot of people just want to be famous. Yeah. And they confuse these 3 desires for brand. You don't need...
Okay. All right.
You do get what I'm saying?
Thanks for the clarification. I get you.
No, let's go back to the back end.
So I want to go. I don't have access to the back end. Sure. However, the front end, which is available to me, when I scroll through her page, for example, almost out of every 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, which the screen can take, I see more women than men, or more female than male. So I can assume that she has more female following her. I've been checking that since we were talking. So what opportunities are there for a person like this to move from influencer to become a brand that the rich, wealthy multinationals will want to invest in her? And I'm sure based on this case study, a lot of other people who find themselves, because a lot of beautiful ladies and guys on TikTok, on all these platforms, who are crazy, influencers with huge audience, but we want to try and draw the cash from the corporate bodies to invest in them,
Let me get some free game.
Yeah, please do.
Let me get some free game.
Because you've worked with her before, so...
If I was managing someone with a significant back end, as you put it.
As Delay would say, she asked about sexual appeal and she said yes.
Sure. So if I was managing someone with sex appeal, the opportunities that I'd be looking at would be opportunities, for instance, in social marketing.
Social marketing. Break it down.
So for instance, what if I stand for, people come to me because of my sex appeal, right? So what if I position myself...
Mic up a bit.
Mic up a bit, right. Yeah. Okay. What if I position myself such that I represent good reproductive health choices, to the point where people, because of me, people who would otherwise not have protected themselves sexually, for instance, would know that that I need to be able to protect myself sexually.
Okay.
People would know that if I see any changes in my body, I need to be able to run to the doctor to be able to check.
Okay.
People who would watch my content would know that there are certain things that I can do to be able to represent my choices as a woman, or there are certain things that I can't do or I shouldn't do to be able to protect the society as a whole. Now, me standing for this, right, is you going on my page now and saying, oh, she's actually getting the younger girls who are watching her content and the young men who are, gorging on her content she's conscientizing them to make sensible choices when it comes to reproductive health. So to that end, I have a brand. I sell condoms. I sell contraceptives.
Yeah.
The service that I'm into is women's reproductive health. I think I can partner with her. And I think it can be a long-term partnership, such that I can sign a 5-year deal with her for her to be able to continue what she's doing, but continuously remind people to make healthier, more sensible choices. Do you understand?
Yeah.
So she has what she has, but what if what she has is made to stand for something, as opposed to here I am, I'm jiggling all these essential body parts, and this is what I would like you to do, which is going by the thing that people bash there for.
Without access to persons like you to maybe help define and set direction and all that, are there any social tools or things that
persons like me are very accessible?
No,
Serial is there. You can always speak to Serial. You can
trust.
As a woman,
I can't lock Cyril and Haja in one room.
That's not true. That's the thing.
I wanted to say something like you're trying to show my Ghanaian side, but I'd just like to elevate right now because
No, just kidding though. But I mean, the thing is, how many we can't have all these influencers rush on persons like you. I mean, you'll be flooded with people to handle.
This actually touches on something that I'm very sensitive about, which is that the number of times that I have actually invited a lot of these creators, a lot of these new guys, a lot of these...
First error was they were late.
The number of times I've invited them, come, let's talk. This is what I think you should be doing. Oh, yeah, but my manager says, oh, this is what... I for the love of God, I can't understand. You have a great, viable platform. Let's hone that platform. Let's try and curate your content so that you'll be able to attract all of these corporates. Stand for something. Stand for something. What do you stand for? Where are we able to plug in? You are just creating content and going.
So in the absence of this negligence, in the absence of, let's say, them coming to you and all that, are there what are some of the strategies that individuals can either learn, acquire skills they can acquire, skill sets they can acquire, materials they can tap into or guidelines they should use to help build their brands, assuming I know that I can work with a company that deals with condoms, or a company that deals with reproductive, sexual reproductive material, I don't know, drugs and stuff like that, contraceptives and stuff. How do I build my brand without having to have conversations with persons like you? What are some of the things I need to do?
Establish your values. Ask yourself, what do I stand for?
Okay.
Write it down. Read it every day. Become those values.
Examples like?
I stand for emancipation.
Okay.
I stand for beauty. I stand for alternative fashion. Define your own values. Values are infinite.
I like that. That's step one. People, you are getting free education here.
Free.
I'm telling you, this is very deep.
Because if
this
you go
is
to,
very,
if you go
very
to
deep.
Brand Anchor,
Yeah.
they will charge you better.
No, and I'm taking personal notes of this as well. Write them down.
Write them down.
Yeah.
Become those values. Like every day, remind yourself that these are my values. This is who I am. This is what I stand for. Like, write down those values. 2, identify where you can plug in society. Identify the society that you're in.
Okay.
And identify where you can plug in.
Further explain. So you mean the fan base or?
So I know what I stand for. Okay. Take 2 steps back. I know what I stand for. This is what I stand for. Who are the other people among my audience, the people who patronize me, who have values that overlap with this thing that I stand for? Okay. They represent your fans. That's an easy way to know who your fans are, right?
Okay.
Then, number 2, how do I plug into them and what it is that they do? What are some of the amazing things that they want to do? Like, for instance, I make high life music, but I'm a young 23-year-old man. The average 23-year-old Ghanaian young youth is not listening to high life music. They are listening to the what they call it now, uns and I'm a piano and them ones. But I make high life music. So who's listening to high life music? Oh, it's older Ghanaians. It's people of a more traditional background and so on and so. Where are they? Where? Okay, let me go to where they are. Let me perform for them. Let them also buy into my stuff. Let them be able to spend on me. Are people still buying music? Are people of that age still buying music? Or it is live music, for instance, that is selling for these guys. So I want them to be able to patronize me. So now I need a band. So I might as well get a band, put a band together, and make sure that.
Good. So please. So let me switch from Haja to me based on what you just said. So Cyril mentioned. So let me use myself as a scapegoat. I've been on TV. It's been my 17th year or so.
Sure.
Okay, I've been doing this job. There's a following on Facebook. I don't even know exactly what the following is looking out for from me. So it becomes very confusing sometimes when I want to post stuff because I don't really know exactly what about me. Is it the popularity that's being followed, or there's a skill, or there's something I did? So it gets confusing trying to even create a brand based on what you're saying. I know my values, but I don't know why the audience is following me. In the same case might be for even Hajia.
So what does J Foley stand for now?
Good, I'm confused now.
Okay. So what could J Foley potentially stand for? What are J Foley's interests?
Bros. It's my brother. I know him well. Bros. We are standing for. Standing.
Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our minds.
Yes.
Have no fear for atomic energy.
Yeah,
What does J Foley potentially stand for?
that is a question that
What is it? What are your interests, for instance? If it's true, the better. If it's true, like in brand building, like if it's true, building a brand based on lies is always a sure way to brand suicide. If it's true, even better. So what is your truth, and what is it that you stand for? For instance, J Foley could say, "I am very interested in travel, so I'm going to post a lot more of my travel stuff." Or J Foley could say, "Oh, I love books, so I'm going to be posting the books that I read." Or Cyril could say, "Hey, listen, me, I'm a womanizer. I'm sorry, a womanist. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to post stuff that have to do with women." Now, that's curated content, right? That some of your audience that you've created as a result of your spectacle would leave you because that's not what they're interested in. But a lot of them will stay because, this actually gives me a tether point, so now I can connect. And that is why the brand will come to you to say, these guys that have stayed, a brand like, for instance, a drink brand that wants to get into the hinterlands because you're traveling and you're showing your travel content and so on. What if Canon decides we want to do an Africa series? So we want to partner with J Foley and put a Canon camera in his hands for him to go on his travels, and whenever he takes pictures, he'll say shot on a Canon, and so on and so forth. Now, be able to identify what my interests are, what my values are, and then put it out there. Don't be afraid of it. Or you can identify and say that, listen, this is where I'm going to go. I believe in business, so I'm going to create content about business, entrepreneurship, getting people to go on an entrepreneurship journey. So then because of that, a bank can say, "Oh, I like what you're doing. I want to partner with you to get more people to take on entrepreneurship, and then we'll guide them to be able to go through there." Whenever it is that these corporates decide that this is what we want to do, we are the ones that they will come to. Me, the quiet person in the bar, and they'll come and say, and it's usually a very simple question: "What do you think of cereal?"
So we basically, for bright people like you, or Constant, you put on our payroll, Constant. So let me mention the question from you. Actually, I'm surprised you haven't asked.
I mean, I've just been listening, but Kofi, aside everything, right? When you are true to yourself, when you are able to define who you are, define your brand, find your values. After everything, what are the things that we should consider in charging rates?
Oh, before you go to the pricing matter. Oh, then that one, please, I beg you. That's a big this thing. I bet we need 10 extra minutes after 10.
Just to answer your question.
Yeah.
He has not even asked the question, so just ask.
Yeah, but let me please, very valid question on pricing. Yeah, so we'll come to it, please.
If you look online, especially the visual sites, Instagram, TikTok, there's a group of companies called Fashion Nova. And what Fashion Nova does is they sell clothes, 99% for women. Now, what they do is they take the spectacle accounts, right? The girls who are just hot for hot and don't have a brand and values and are not trying to change the world and don't know anything about global warming. And it's just a hot girl. And there's 10 million people following.
Yeah.
Fashion Nova does affiliate marketing through these girls, where they leverage your physique, give you product, you model it, you get people to buy at a discount on your code, blah, 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 you get a percentage. So, again, affiliate marketing like this exists for influencers who have that large mixed bag following and an unclear brand positioning. Like when you made the example with Hajia, the 2 million people there are majority girls because they're aspirational. They want that physique. They want to know what she's wearing, what kind of life she's living. It's aspirational. And the guys who are following are there for the spectacle. There's not a guy following Hajia into thinking, I wish my waist was like that.
So some David guy, maybe he's thinking about
David is fine. David is not thinking. As a womanist, I have the log. David is fine. So you get what I'm saying? So there's also the possibility to still be Jay Foley, right? And the mixed bag that comes to your collective, your Instagram, your Twitter, blah, blah, blah. Even though it's a mixed bag, it's still a mixed bag that you can affiliate those eyeballs and that attention to some other brand to sell without being a clearly defined ambassador or influencer for the brand. I think people also get caught up on the call card syndrome. They want to say, I am the brand ambassador for Lenny Lumute Limited.
Facts.
Yeah. That one they hear and pass the fact say he could be one of 50 affiliate marketers for Lenny Lumute and be cashing out. Those Fashion Nova girls that I keep mentioning, they're the ones going to Dubai and traveling everywhere, blah, blah, blah. Because
Potty Dubai.
not that side, they go for the other side.
Yeah.
But they are the same girls because the lifestyle integrates into the job.
He sent me the video. I didn't
Oh,
know about
bruh.
it. Is serious?
I was concerned about the women. So,
He sent me the
but
video.
you get what I'm saying? So the desire, the call card syndrome,
Yeah.
the desire to, I am Jay Foley and I am the brand ambassador for Asumbesi Limited. That desire also forces a lot of people to go where they have no business going, where they could have made good enough earnings and engagement elsewhere.
Okay, add to.
With what he said, right? You actually leave yourself, like, if these ones are some of the fortunate ones, the spectacle,
Yeah.
they're some of the fortunate ones because the brand's corporate strategy or the brand's marketing strategy was, hey, listen, let's take these spectacle guys, let's put them together and let's use them to sell. You won't always be that fortunate.
Yeah, exactly.
You always be that fortunate. The ones that will get the partnership deals are the ones that actually probably stand for something. The ones that stand for a particular thing.
And it's harder to make that alignment.
Exactly. Those who take their time to align themselves with a particular cause. Those are the ones that Fashion Nova, for instance, get up and say, I like this girl. I want to be able to do XYZ with them. And so on. Like, there are so many examples that I could give. The influencers that I've worked with here in Ghana, here abroad, and so on.
Lenny's question on pricing comes in the next 5. But just before that, we know we were listing you had mentioned values as well. But how do we not create conflicting brands for yourself? That's one. That I know I'm a television personality. And maybe I like boxer shorts, like what Chamakabi just released. And whilst I have that interest in doing the boxer shorts, there's also another side of me that loves music. So I want to talk music. And then at a point in time, I feel like the audience is confused as to exactly who you are. How to manage these things, sometimes also becomes a problem. I don't know whether you become somebody just have a multiple...
J.
Yes.
Mind map it. Take a big sheet, write it. I like this, I like that, I like this, I like that. Where are the points of overlaps?
Okay.
Yeah. So, for instance, I'm a TV personality, right? Then you're a TV personality, people will be looking at you. So people want to see you and they like looking at you. I like music. Music, I'll be performing. So people also want to look at me. And I like boxer shorts. Boxer shorts, people will look at me when I take my clothes off and so on. So I should look good in boxer shorts. So if there's a point of intersection, it would be sex appeal.
And then I should do that because I have a good macho.
So then it means that one of the things that you should be able to push is my sex appeal. And that actually opens more doors. That, I have sex appeal enough to be able to come on TV, that people look at me and want to be me or want to be with me. I have sex appeal enough to make music, such that when I speak to the ladies, they would want to, connect with me, hug me, scream my name, and so on. And then I have sex appeal enough that when I wear boxer shorts and I stand in front of the camera and take a picture, like people would want to buy these boxer shorts as well. So sex appeal is where you should be going. And all these other things will come and add. And several more things will be able to come.
I like this. This is just mind-blowing, honestly. I mean, I feel like for the past only X number of years, I feel like I haven't even been able to sit back to look at this as you've described it, to find the gray areas. And I'm very sure there are many lots like me out there as well who probably at their earlier ages of early 20s, mid 30s, still haven't been able to define exactly what they want to stand for. But it's because we haven't actually taken even a pen and paper to write these things down and always assume. Now brings us to the point on pricing. Lenny, over to you, please.
Yes. So
how do I price?
Yeah, like after everything, right, Kofi, after you've done a clear cut of your values, of being truthful to yourself, of knowing who you are or what you want or how you want to put yourself out there, what are the things that we should consider before pricing, whether you are going to be pricing as a brand ambassador, an influencer, or a content creator? What should we consider before, charging?
Cyril, the number of times that I've seen people lose out on amazing deals because of money.
Greed. No, not because of money.
It's
because
shocking.
of greed.
So this question that you've asked, it's also another reason why I said I'm not going to talk about this anymore. Because the more you try to advise people, people think that you're rather trying to play them. Here's the fact. These corporate bodies have something called a finance department. The finance department has determined their budget for the year, so they know what it is that they are going to spend. Now, they have called you into a conversation, which hitherto you wouldn't have had if they hadn't called you.
Right.
You want to be able to have a long-standing relationship with them, right? So essentially, you're not going to walk away from the table that they have called you to with nothing. You are going to walk away with something, right? So the question that you should be asking immediately is, I know you have created a budget for this particular activity.
So how much?
Let's discuss the scope of work, and please let me know what you have budgeted for this time period that I'm going to be engaged with you. Oh, it's 1 CD that we can afford, and so on. Oh, can you afford 1.5 CD? One CD,
50%.
No, it's set. It's 1 CD that we can afford, and so on. Okay, so this is the scope of work, and this is what you'd like me to do. It's the first time you're at the table. Take the deal. Make sure you read the contract. Make sure there are lawyers in there that would be able to give you an extension, that would be able to give you a point from which you can flow from. Do you know what that actually does for you?
Tell us.
That helps you determine your pricing policy. As soon as the first deal comes, and this is the value that you were able to get from the first deal,
Benchmark.
it's either you benchmark from there such that you go higher or you stay on that level as well. You don't come and tell me that I have 2 million followers, so if each of my followers is worth 1 CD, then I've had that before.
Wow.
You find it funny. Like I've actually had that before. Someone say I have 2 million.
Like a direct conversion.
100%. I have 2 million followers. So if you price each of my followers at 1 CD, then it means that this deal is worth 2 million.
2 million
CDs.
Oh, wow.
Swear down.
Bad.
And so you sit there and go like, but what do you mean by that? Like, where do we go from there? So if you are able to determine what it is that you're able to give, they give you the scope of work, they give you the budget. And then you sit down and say, oh, maybe we can take this out or we can add this and so on. But always be willing to add. You creating that benchmark for yourself is now you being able to work upwards to say that, okay, here's what I think the value is. Here's what I think I'll be able to add. This is where I think I'll be able to go. So then that comes back to you being able to determine, you being able to educate yourself such that you understand what your contribution to their bottom line is. You understand where it is. Simple example. There was a brand that I worked. Actually, no, I worked with Fan Milk.
Okay.
I took over the Fan Milk account 6 years ago. That was when I immediately signed Kwesi Arthur.
So you're part of that amazing campaign with the. Oh, I loved it. I loved it. Oh, my God. Let me go reach out to Kofi. Oh, great.
So that was when I immediately signed Kwesi Arthur. Why? Kwesi Arthur was with the streets at the time. Kwesi Arthur was the one. Like everybody was, and he was upcoming, and Fan Milk was on a resurgence. So there was like that, shared value in there. Like this is an artist that is surging upwards, and this is a brand that is resurging upwards. So, and then this is like a brand that's on the streets. There's somebody who represents the streets. Okay, shared values. Let's create with him, and so on and so forth. Fantastic. Now, the business part of it is you saying, guys, I want to know how my contribution to this is affecting you. So let's look at sales, for instance. Let's look at patronage within that period. Let's look at your numbers. Your social media grew by X, and the correspondence sales also grew by Y. So you paying attention to the business part. Me, I know that my contribution to Fan Milk was that when I took Fan Milk from where they were, and these are facts, when I took Fan Milk from where they were, there was a 50-plus-year-old record. They do their sales by month. So their monthly sales there was a record sale in a month, right? When I took them, in the third month of when I was with them, they quadrupled their monthly sales record, the highest record ever, right?
Congrats.
And then in the subsequent month, that record was broken again. Right. So, okay, we know that, we have increased sales and we've gone from this point to that point and so on and so forth. So then I can present my credentials and say, when I took this brand, this is where they were and this is where I brought them to. Whether or not it was just me that did it, and I know that there was another team and the in-house people were so amazing and so. I don't know if they contributed to this. So you, the artist as well, take the deal. Use it to benchmark. Use it to show that this is a case study, this is what it is that I did.
Yeah.
And then based on that, use it to say, this is the value that I was able to contribute to this brand. So if you give me X or Y, here's the value that I can also be. Educate yourself in the business. When we say this, they don't.
Kofi, it hurts me that our time is up. It really hurts me that our time is up. You know,
Kofi's stress.
When they come back
there
for
is a
part two.
whole. We need to
next
do a
on
part,
part
two.
two.
Yes, we need to do a part two of this because there's a whole lot I want to ask. However, the last thing for today that I want to just ask, our time is up. Please, China, partly cheap clothes and industrialization. Vietnam, clothes. Turkey, clothes. SA, tourism. Niger, music, film. It used to be 4 and 9. Kofi, Ghana.
It left small. It left small, like a toxin.
Kofi, Ghana. Icheo.
Debt.
Kofi Icheo.
Tourism, I guess, maybe.
Tourism.
I know it's not Galamsey.
Ooh,
It's tourism. It's
he has ended the show.
it's
My name is
positivity. My name is Kofi.
It took Kofi a minute to think about the brand for Ghana. It took Kofi a minute.
And that one
It wasn't supposed to take Kofi, a brand anchor, a minute,
A Ghanaian.
a Ghanaian, to think about this. That means there's a big gap.
Brandless.
Can I just say that my
Yeah.
dream brand to
Yeah.
work with, my dream brand, there are two dream brands. The first one is Ghana Police. One day I want to work with Ghana Police. I want that brand. I think it's so challenging. It's almost impossible, but I know how to make it possible.
Take up that TV channel, it's empty.
And then my second dream brand is the Ghana brand. Not from a political position,
Yeah.
but the Ghana brand from a investment,
Social?
tourism, social perspective. That Ghana brand.
Kofi, please tell us about your company and brand anchor. Let's wrap up with that.
My brand Anchor Global. We are a small boutique agency here in the heart of Accra. Our office is in airport. And basically, we're young. We are barely a year old, started last year in September. And we have represented brands like the Ghana Football Association, like Bet Power, like OAP, like Bosch Global, and so on. We're still growing. We're very, very excited about what is coming up next. We're a creative hub, so from end-to-end marketing, so from your design to execution to billboard to TV to radio to digital, every single thing that you need done for your brand, we have it in-house. We will interest you to know as well that right now we're actually running a campaign to give away to small businesses. So you can nominate a small business. So let's say Cyril has his womanist movement, Lenny has her brand.
That's interesting.
So you can nominate online. You go on our Twitter, go on our Instagram, you can nominate the brand that you think is worth a complete makeover. And we're going to give them a total free. We're going to pick 2 brands and give them a free makeover. So go on our pages, Brand Anchor Global, on Instagram and on Twitter. Just tag them with Alcoholic Makeover. Alcoholic is what we call ourselves. Everybody is an alcoholic because we are drunk on creativity.
That's nice.
Alcoholic Makeover hashtag, and just nominate the brand, tag them, and we're going to sieve through and look at the brands that deserve a complete makeover, and we're giving a free makeover worth 10,000 USD to the brands that we are able to pick. So get to picking.
But does that count if the brand doesn't have a physical space?
No. It's just a small businesses. I have a brand value. I have a value. My value is I believe in the small guy. Okay. I believe in the little guy. So I want to be able to support the little guy.
Right.
So the small brands, that is where it is that we have.
Yeah, I'm doing my business after the show now. It's been a great conversation. Trust me. Tao. Yeah, it's been a great conversation. I drove to Labadi with that brand stuck behind my car, and it was an amazing experience. On that note, I have a brand called 2131.
It's a very famous brand.
Yes, it's TOTO. But when you drive through certain parts of Accra, you can be stoned. So I need to work on that as well. And on that note of working on Kofi, thank you so much for being a guest with us this morning. It's been a great conversation. Thank you so much. And of course, listeners, I'm sure you've also had a good one. And thanks to Olele for making this happen as well. On behalf of all the women in Ghana and their president.
Serial.
Yes. We're back again same time.
Cheers, sir.
Cheers. Tomorrow on Culture Daily.
I'm hated in this house.
You're not hated.
It's the swag.
Sorry. Is the what?
The swag is over.
The swag.
It's the swag. Jay, so I guys.